Welcome back to the Stache Club Wrestling Podcast presented by FanDuel, folks, the most positive and really only wrestling podcast out there on the internet. We have a lot of stuff to talk about today. My name is John.
My name is Jimmy.
Jimmy, how the heck are you?
And I'm repping hard today, too. I'm with a natural mustache today. I shaved the wrestling fan neck beard, so I'm classic Stache Club wrestling today.
Hell yeah. We have a lot to talk about. I mean, Raw and SmackDown, I think we're both on their A game. We got some AEW to chat about, some news over there, a lot of stuff, and a lot of good stuff for your boys this week. But with that said, let's get right into it. We have a lot to talk about. Before we do, please hit the patreon.com/StacheClubWrestling for a bonus weekly pod episode. We're taking your questions and we're chit-chatting and other stuff. I have an update about something we talked about on the Patreon that I'm not happy about. Say this, I'm not happy about.
Oh, I'm excited.
But we'll get to that. But I mean, we can just start out right first and foremost. I think I'm a little loud here. I'm turning myself down.
Turn it up.
Turn it up. What's that meme of that kid? He's like in the playground and he's just like, turn it up. You know what I'm talking about? You would know exactly what I'm talking about if you saw it. Anyway, let's just start with the biggest headline news, the stuff that's happened most recent, as it was the main event of Raw. Solo Sikoa did not join the Bloodline. You heard it here, folks. Yeah, a lot of people, I think including us, right, coming off of, what was it, last week's Raw, when he lost to, was it Raw he lost to Jey Uso? Yep. And then it was like, I'm going to get.
The stipulation was he gets delivered like a DoorDash order.
Yep. He gets DoorDash to Roman Reigns. And instantly, you know, and I like to think that I haven't watched back the episode, but I think we kind of played it middleman, where a lot of people were instantly just like, oh, they ruined Solo. They're punishing the fans for, you know, Solo organically getting over, and they're punishing Solo for organically getting over, and it's done. He's going to get nerfed. And it's fair. I'm not saying that people aren't just to think that. I'm sure we had a little bit of that. You know, I'm sure, I feel like we kind of looked at both sides. But, like, you know, it's fair. Made a little PTSD sort of thing of what WWE does sometimes in these situations. However, I think a lot of us were pleasantly surprised when. So, I mean, there's a whole thing. We can go over every single beat if we want. But with the spike, potentially to LA Knight, and then hitting Roman Reigns, massive pop. And then, yeah, Solo, Jacob Fatu kind of, I mean, there's the Ula Fala stuff on the Usos, and then Jacob not getting one, even though he did get one before, but he didn't get these, like, cool ones, right? So, yeah, Jacob not really signed with anyone, still kind of standing there, you know, like, okay, all right, you didn't, you said not to do anything, I'm not doing anything. And then it puts over like hell Solo Sikoa and LA Knight. Now, before we can get into the negatives if we want, because you did say you had a wet blanket sort of take.
Sort of, yeah, a little kind of pointing something out that just like, but you know, overall this was a very entertaining and electric segment, you know.
Yeah, no, I agree. How do you feel? I want to hear it. I want to hear the negative.
So my only thing, and I'm going to point this out, and it's not a bad thing, but in Solo Sikoa, Solo Dolo, I'm happy to see it.
Solo Dolo.
He's jumping off the TV screen. He's so entertaining. I'm very much looking at it though that it kind of feels a little bit like Solo Sikoa is Ricky Bobby, and LA Knight is John C. Reilly, Dale, and they're doing a little shake and bake right now, where it's like the momentum of LA Knight and how over he's been for the last 3 years, whatever. I feel like, and only a little bit, not like directly, because Solo has gotten over with his own mannerisms, his own talent, his own charisma. But it's definitely interesting. I think it's ultimately a good thing, but I'm feeling like sort of the star of Solo is being sort of lit up by the star of LA Knight a little bit, and they're kind of doing a shake and bake where, you know, LA Knight's really, really popular, babyface, whatever, and they're using the kind of a slingshot engage with Solo siding with them, and him being, I think, going to be someone of like more beneficial of this angle, where I think Solo, because looking down at it after Monday Raw, this angle. What match do you kind of really want to see? Roman versus LA Knight or Roman versus Solo? Which is kind of surprising because, you know, Roman brought it up and during the promo, it was like, I beat you on Raw 3 years ago, which wasn't 3 years ago.
Yeah, it was a year ago.
I was on the channel still. Yeah.
I was on stream and like we were all like, was that 3 years? So like that wasn't
a year and a half ago
what he was
or whatever.
Talking about.
But I think there's or even too like a triple threat match. I think would be kind of compelling where it's like Solo and LA Knight work together, but ultimately they want to become champion or whatever. But I don't know. That was just kind of my only like wet blanket thing of it a little bit for LA Knight fans directly, where it's like, yeah, this is a cool moment. He's still in the Bloodline main event spear, but I think Solo is starting to become the more brighter star of the buddy cop.
I got news for you.
Yeah.
He is.
Yeah, a little bit.
He is. Nothing to do with LA Knight.
Yeah. And I think maybe on the same level in ring wise too. I would say
Yeah, I'd probably put LA Knight honestly
higher.
over Solo if we're talking in ring. That's interesting. I don't know if I see it. I think to me, I don't know. I'm curious what comes out of this. I think the initial match, and not that I think he's going to win, but I could see it because Saturday Night's main event, Roman versus LA Knight for the title. If not Saturday's main event, I think that's the match before Solo. Now, LA Knight's not going to win that. And honestly, I don't even think Solo's going to win his world title match after the fact, right? But where I agree with you is, coming out of this is it is more likely still that Solo is going to become the next world champ or a world champ than LA Knight.
Just a quick thought I had that was a little
But I don't know if it's they're using LA Knight as a slingshot. I think you're giving too much credit to LA Knight's stardom.
Okay.
I'll be honest.
All right.
He's a star. I'm not saying he's not a star, but I think it's more so to Solo's credit. Now, to be honest with you, even Roman's credit, where a lot of people were quick to point out, which fair, that a lot of people were like, oh, everyone complains about the Bloodline stuff until it puts over 2 to 3 guys massively. It's fair?
Very, very fair. And what I really thought was refreshing about this entire segment was Roman and the Usos, for a large part, because Jay's been very kind of cocky throughout the whole night, kind of, dragging around Solo, and a boo, boo, whatever.
Genuinely so funny. When the other sibling gets in trouble, the other two are all happy and silly. He's been dealing with that shit his whole life.
But Roman, a lot more of a heel during this segment, kind of dismissing the crowd and a very much annoying part, because I thought it was, for a second, the crowd was chanting "Don't go back to Solo," but it was "Run it back" for Jey Uso. They wanted,
I didn't clock that.
And Roman had to shut him down real quick. And just the entire vibe of the segment, where it's finally we have Solo in this position where the fans do want Solo to succeed. And it killed me yesterday because right before Monday Night Raw, I made a little short form video of comparing the Bloodline to the Sopranos.
Oh, yeah.
And then on the show, we have Roman calling Jay and Jimmy made men, and kind of upgrading the captains of the capos of a mob family or whatever, very mob like thing. And just like Tony Soprano, Roman is getting back to that very vindictive, ultimately sadistic leader. And it's good.
It feels like that prime manipulative Roman Reigns Bloodline stuff, which is it's where the money was. It's where the best story was coming out of in between 39 and 40. It's interesting to say, I don't know where I am on the Bloodline, because I love that character, that prime Bloodline Roman. I don't think it super worked. I feel like we kind of agree on this, where it's it didn't super work as well when he was a face, but still trying to do the, acknowledge me, and but he's a face, and it's whatever.
What I can appreciate, though, is the last 4 matches, him defending the title, were alone. I think that was to build up the credibility, but I think now we're at a spot where future matches are going to have cousins.
Where it's on one hand, I like that we're here and we're getting more defined. At this point, it's a heel faction. I think for a while it was Roman's a tweener, he's a face. Granted, crowd still cheers for it. It's that's And
I think it's very important that Jey Uso soon dismisses the yeets. And if the crowd can still yeet all they want, still sell the t-shirts, but have it be Jey Uso's Achilles heel or thing that he just despises.
And they were doing it for a little bit, and they kind of stopped doing it when he would shut people down or whatever. But I don't know, if they go, they need to lean full heel in it. But also, again, on the other side of the coin, it's I get the sentiment of people being okay, great, but it's this again, and I get it. So a lot of people are already looking at Survivor Series War Games is coming up. Here are the teams, right? Roman, Jay, Jimmy, Jacob. On the other side, LA Knight, Solo, Jacob. Sorry, did I say Jacob? No. Roman,
John, Jacob, Jingleheimer Smith.
Roman, because I think Jacob's going to go to the Solo side. So
oh, really?
Roman.
Oh, that's a hot take and thinking itself.
It's kind of is it though? Because he's kind of, Jacob's kind of pissed. Jacob's kind of sitting there being
his whole involvement in the Bloodline is very reserved. Yeah. But the thing is, though, his arc is interesting to me, where it's he was just kind of sitting there waiting while Solo and LA Knight were making the comeback because Roman, told him to, whatever. He's kind of listening but being obedient at the same time a little bit. But like his arc is kind of like, what are we just waiting for Jacob to do the same thing Solo's doing now, or are we going to be excited about that by the time it comes? I don't know. I think he has to really, something needs to happen, whether it's Roman maybe dog walking him some more, neutering him some more, where he's more, I think, more equipped and more supportive in a vicious role with the bloodline, because Solo's not coming. So Jacob's enforcer role is right there. But
I'm curious who else gets added, because like
maybe Oba. He's with Braun. He's doing Braun stuff, but
like because right now on either side, like Jacob's gonna be obviously on one side, but like. I think Royce Keys will come back and join Solo and LA Knight. But then if Jacob joins the good guys, then bad guys are down one. Maybe you call up Zilla real quick for Survivor Series.
Maybe.
I'm not saying it's a good idea. But you know what I mean?
I'm hearing you.
And then, like,
I suppose you're right, because you have the math needs the math,
and then
for the War Games match, right?
Jacob maybe goes to the good guys. Maybe you get Sami back.
Yeah.
If you really want to run back Prime Bloodline.
Oh, you know who? I mean, I think, and here's the thing too. Another hot take I have for you. This Raw was really good, not just because of this segment alone, but all the great wrestling matches, including the Lucha tournament.
Oh yeah.
The winner of the Lucha tournament, I think my prediction is Penta. So maybe Penta could be on the team of good guys. And I think Penta might have a shot against the Tribal Chief in Mexico.
It's not crazy.
I think we might.
It's not zero.
I think we might get an Eddie Guerrero, Brock Lesnar moment where Solo and LA Knight help Penta to win the World Heavyweight title in Mexico.
Because if we're going to, because what's next? Money in the Bank and then Survivor Series. Roman might be I think he'll defend the belt. If he defends the belt, it'll be against LA Knight at Sunday night's main event or Money in the Bank. But the point being is Survivor Series is going to be in the War Games match. So he doesn't need emphasis on need the belt for the next 3 months or whatever. And then he can get it back. And then just give it back to him. It's not crazy. And I think here's the thing. You're feeding me my favorite meal here. It's Penta World title run, 100%. I'm absolutely for it. I don't know. It's a lot of here's the thing. What's nice is I said already, I get the people, and I'm not even disagreeing with the sentiment of I roll Bloodline stuff again. Now we're just reheated nachos, blah blah blah. But
nachos are good.
Nacho, when's the last time you had paper plate, store-bought Tostitos, shredded cheese in the microwave? That's good.
It's 11 a.m. right now, so 6 hours 6 hours ago, 5 a.m.
That shit's good.
It's good.
And I'm hook, line, sinker. I'm back in. But yeah, I don't know. I'm curious what's going to happen next. And you're right. It's not defined that Jacob jump ship next. He could be defiant the whole time, but still too afraid to leave, or he's not leaving yet, or whatever, and sticking with the bloodline. I don't know. I really don't know what's going to come about it. What I'm hoping though is I do hope that they pull the trigger on. I mean, both LA Knight and Solo. Not necessarily. I don't think they need to both win the world title, but it's the biggest thing and I use the term also made men for LA Knight and Solo. This made them stars, in my opinion. And I know LA Knight, I think was, to your credit, before this was a bigger star than Solo a little bit, because he already had, so didn't Solo, but he had world title matches. He's been in world title stuff mainly to take the loss and have a B show pay-per-view thing, but he's been in big spots before. Even with that, it still feels they just made 2 stars. And they need to capitalize, because now they're in the pool of I know LA Knight's a little old or whatever, but they're in the same pool now as the Trick Williamses, the Javon Evans, the Oba Femis, the Braun Breakers, where it's okay, now you have Solo and LA Knight to that list, and Jacob Fatu. It's you got it. You have your new stars. You have your new world champions. I think Solo Sikoa needs. I love the Penta stuff, but aside from the Lucha tournament, I think Solo needs to take that world title off of Roman Reigns, or else because the other side of the coin is okay, are they just being built up to be fed to Roman again?
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
What substantial wins besides the world title can they really get? The War Games match I think could be significant, but yeah, I hear you. They do need a crowning moment. And that's why I don't see them giving Solo the world title or a big win over Roman Reigns or anything like that. I think, though, their chemistry, Solo and LA Knight were saying to each other at the end of that segment, I owe you. Do you realize you just did? Dapping up and basically setting the stage for their buddy cop movie. I think there is something to be said where
You'll get the tag titles and you'll like it.
Probably, yeah, maybe that, and then they'll face the Usos. You know, that's like I don't think their arc, not their arc. I'm using that too much, but I do think
trajectory.
Yeah, where they will line up will be like the Usos. Yeah, because I think LA Knight and Solo can be a very dynamic and popular tag team, but not strictly the tag team division. But I think that could be like a PLE match. Those two first, the Usos.
Yeah, that checks out.
Because I remember last week I was kind of telling you, I'm like, oh, that Raw main event was a main event without any stars, and that was Solo and Jay. Hey, after this segment, man, I'd be very much invested in a Solo Sikoa Raw main event. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Credit to the whole staff. Triple H, this Monday Night Raw cooked. It really was.
No, 100%. Before we get to that next topic, I would like to tell you about today's sponsor, FanDuel. Baseball fans, think you know who's hitting a homer today? Well, FanDuel is giving you a free chance to call your shot with daily dingers. Joining the action is easy. Just make your free pick on who's hitting a home run in their game, and if you're right, you'll get a profit boost to use on your next bet for a chance at extra winnings. You've got nothing to lose and a lot to gain, and don't forget, you can make a free pick every day during the MLB season. It's just another reason why FanDuel is the home of home runs. So, are you ready to play your game today? Join all the action at FanDuel.com/Believe. That's FanDuel.com/BLEAV to play daily dingers and make your free pick on who's hitting a homer. Play ball and swing for the fences with FanDuel, an official partner of the MLB. 21 plus select states for Kansas in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino. 18 plus DC, Kentucky, Wyoming. No purchase necessary. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-MY-RESET, call 1-888-789-7777, visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut, visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland, visit gamblinghelplinema.org, call 800-327-5050 Massachusetts, call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY, text HOPE-NY New York, call 1-877-770-7867 in Louisiana. Thank you to FanDuel for sponsoring today's episode. Now back to the show. All right, with that said, we can move on to what else cooked. We got Rey Mysterio versus Chad Gable throwing it down. I mean, the segment was great. I know this was the last match, but maybe should have been the main event. I don't know, being biased here, but this match ruled. I've talked, I don't know, on 3 or 4 different short form, long form, whatever, about how sick this match was. And everyone knows I'm the Rey Mysterio guy, blah, blah. But I think my takes are unbiased here. This match rocked. People are saying match of the year contender. I disagree with that. I don't think it's top 5. But it's the best match they put on TV on Raw in a very long time. It's one of the better matches we've seen in a minute. And what's funny is I think I said it in my little hot takes video, but I'll also kind of give a negative before we really get into the positives. There's way more positives than the negatives. It's like a negative that's covered in positives, because it's like episode 1 takeaway from this was it made me real. It's like let me think of an analogy. It's like when you're on vacation, right? And you're eating and you have the best pizza in the world. Oh, you have a really great slice of cake. You gotta go back home in 3 days. You're like, oh, this is what life could be if we were just if I was just rich, life could just be sitting on a beach eating cake all the time. But that's not That's not what life's given us. Life's Monday Night Raw, where I came away from this match being like, we can just have these matches on Raw, these highly competitive, emotional, investing, great wrestling matches, where it almost took the blindfold off, where it's the amount of just half-assed TV matches we get every single week on Raw that's just so cookie cutter, and it's just matches just to have matches. And in terms of the in-ring quality, just all right, let's just go through the paces and do this DQ finish, or this person wins, and great. But they're not that good. And then you get something like this that's oh, they cared for a second. This is chocolate cake on the beach is awesome. I want to have it all the time. Does that make sense? That's a little bit of my take away from it. You know what I mean?
Of course. We could have a lot more of this. It doesn't have to be so rare. And like this had no build up. This was just kind of like, hey, Rey Mysterio last week said, I would love a title shot.
Yeah.
And I have here just like my notes, Chad Gable versus a 51-year-old man.
Ain't that right?
And this man, oh my God, I can't believe a criticism too you could have had of this match where it's like, oh, well, Chad just won the title. He just got that dog in him. Like I think Chad's gonna win. Genuinely thought Rey had it.
Dude, and that's the magic of it, right? It's like, I couldn't agree more. We're like, on paper, it's Chad Gable just got it. This is his, second defense or third, whatever it is. Of course he's not winning. Of course Rey's not winning. But then that's the magic of that fucking wrestling match and how good these two performers are, where they made you feel and they made you suspend your logic and belief, where that crowd was going to explode if Rey won. You know what I mean?
I said during my live stream, like, man, Chad Gable's like the biggest heel out of circumstance of all time. Just like, I mean, Chad, because people love Chad, but like Rey Mysterio is like, his star kind of gets even raised more, where he is the last of a bygone era where we don't have Cena, Styles, Lesnar, all these guys that are mainstream stars from the biggest era of wrestling. Rey's still going. He was here long before them, which is crazy to think about.
Yes,
he moves better than Dom Mysterio.
It's shocking.
It's just an insanely good match. I think TV match of the year potentially.
It's not crazy.
The Avalanche Angle Slam. I thought it was done there,
dude.
And then the crowd, the audacity of this crowd. You still got it,
dude.
Sean, tell him.
I'm so glad you said that, because when did he lose it? I would love to see when he lost it. Or it was like damn, maybe Rey Shata. Rey isn't that. What do you mean you still got it?
The only time he lost something was his eyeball for Seth Rollins a couple years ago. Other than that, this man has always had it. And then I mean,
he's still hitting like springboard moonsaults and Ranas off the top. And like, I made my little short form video and I pieced together the Halloween Havoc match with Eddie and this match, just to be like, look at him at 21 versus like 51. And like, there's a moment where they both do a seated senton off the top rope. They both do a springboard moonsault into the arms into a tornado DDT. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
This match had shades of, I think the Halloween Havoc is a good one, but this match also had shades of Angle versus Mysterio,
yes,
SummerSlam,
100%.
SummerSlam 2002, man. And like almost, I think this match kind of had what going for him, where this match could be maybe better than that match. This match was for the IC title, and that meant a lot. And like the fact that, like, oh my God, Rey Mysterio is about to win the IC title in the year 2026 at 51 years old. At this point, I think should happen eventually anyway.
I think because I'm not going to be crazy and advocate for a world title run. Obvious bias, like, yeah, I'd like it, but at minimum, if you still have a guy like this, who's still as big of a star, draws the emotion from the crowd, is still as over as he's ever been, and he still performs better than 90% of the roster, give him the IC for a couple months. Like,
Thank God he dodged that Gunther bullet, man.
I know. I'm really curious behind the scenes how close that was to happening.
Oh, man.
But then him just being like, "Ow, my leg! I can't." And then yeah. And then what was the match that came out of it? Because then he got a match with, because like I think we were like joking about it that like he was like hurt with Gunther, and then like
he came back and worked Rusev like 2-3 weeks later or something, or Ethan Page or something.
It was something like that where he like came out and he was like, "Wait, I get to face Penta," or it was something to the effect of that, where he was like, "Okay, I'm down." I mean, I could obviously talk forever about this match, but. Again, it does just almost shine a light. Like I said, unfortunately, I'm just like, the TV match quality get week to week, and also like how this 51-year-old's kicking everyone's ass still, dude. It's crazy. But also big credit to Chad. Is like this was not a one-sided dance. I love the story of like Chad. Obviously gets the Kurt Angle comparisons. He's obviously watched a bunch, which I have a take about the Kurt Angle comparisons. But watch his tape, right? I think this match almost felt like an ode and a lot of references to that SummerSlam Kurt match, because earlier in the match, like, if there's anyone that knows how to get out of an ankle lock at this point, it's Rey Mysterio. So Chad went for it like twice, and Rey slipped out of it, like pretty easy. Then the end of the match comes. Rey's already like countered the ankle 2 or 3 times. Chad's learning. Okay, he knows how to da-da-da. Anyway, point being, end of the match, when Rey goes from the top rope and gets caught in the ankle lock. Rey tries to reverse it 3 or 4 times. Every single time, Chad holds on to it. He learned. It's just like natural storytelling from earlier in the match. Rey escaped, and then Chad learned, okay, this is how because Rey's going to escape. And also, like, we both studied tape from SummerSlam, so we know how this goes. And
kind of how, like, bugs form, like, traits over evolution to kind of get stronger.
Exactly.
You know? It's crazy.
And all of a sudden, he's like learning, and those tricks from Rey don't work, so he evolved and whatever. My take, my 2 more things. One of my take is like, I don't know, it's kind of a half lukewarm take, but first of all, I'll say this: I love the Kurt Angle comparisons. I think if you're going to be compared to any wrestler and you're being compared to Kurt Angle, that's a win. Would never complain about it. It's very similar to when people are like, LA Knight is just a Rock and Stone Cold on the mic. It's like, well, those are 2 of the best talkers of all time, so that's pretty solid. My like, my one thing is like, I'm curious how other people feel. Is like, does the Kurt Angle comparisons hurt Chad at this point? Because his character now is just Kurt Angle. He wears the same singlet. He does the same moves. He does the ankle lock. He does the angle slam. He's like, his character feels like just a ode and whatever to Kurt Angle. And again, I want to preface this: Kurt Angle comparisons are amazing. Yeah. And it's not something to like, that's not a negative. But we are just in an era of like, everyone right now is this generation's that person. You know what I mean? So like, I don't think it harms him a lot, but more so I'm just coming from a point of like, you know, he might want to be his own man one day.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
It reminds me of the early Chris Jericho, Shawn Michaels rivalry, where it's like Chris Jericho's like, all my life I wanted to grow up and be Shawn Michaels until I realized I could be the first Chris Jericho.
Sure, right, exactly.
And like, yeah, totally agree with that, dude. Where it's, and the thing is with like he's kind of a Walmart version of Kurt Angle, which sounds kind of mean, but it's true. Just because Kurt, it's true.
The Target version of Kurt is sold out.
Yeah,
so it's like, you know what I mean? It's
exactly.
still a good product.
Like,
but,
character wise, he's nowhere near Kurt Angle, but that's the thing though. Him being so Kurt Angle, you know, influenced, it is kind of like a sort of a detriment to him. I would actually agree with that a little bit, where it's like there's only so much you can gain, because I think it's a safe to say, and there's some people that might disagree with us, but like, Chad's not going to win the world title. Like,
I don't think
he's
so.
not going to be. He doesn't have that Kurt Angle next level thing. That's going to get him that it factor world title. This is kind of like his world title run, which is fine. I think and that's the thing. Like, we want more of this wrestling on our show, so have him, you know, these type of matches and moments, and have a good run. But I think there is character-wise, I think, limitations, as you just mentioned, to his character.
It just puts, like, it's a high ceiling, but it still puts a ceiling on him, where it's like, no, you're our Kurt Angle.
Because even Cole called it the Angle Slam during the, you know, that's like,
100%,
why aren't we rephrasing it as the Gable Slam?
Sure.
You know?
Yeah,
it's little stuff like that.
That's what I mean. Is it's all like, and again, like the gimmick, him like when he was more
a wrestler.
like he's a wrestler, but he was like, especially when he was more so doing like the American stuff, where it's like, I get it, he's like an American wrestler,
and it would make even more sense if, you know, during that storyline years ago, if he was his son, not Jason Jordan. You know?
Wow, that's
like,
funny.
There would be more.
That's
and the thing is, he kind of looks like Kurt Angle to his son to a degree. Like, if I were to cast Kurt Angle's life, and like, I'd put Chad Gable as his son easily. The fact that like Jason Jordan was the pick for that is crazy. I think just the shock factor of Jason Jordan being black, but I digress. I think there is a conversation to be had. Maybe Chad should wean off some Kurt Angle moves.
Again, they even tried to give him the "You Suck" chant.
You're right.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I get it. If you're gonna just be a wrestler, Kurt Angle's a great pick. But we already had that.
And it's fascinating that you brought up too. Like, LA Knight gets a lot of criticism and slack for being have the same, you know, cadence as The Rock and Stone Cold, but that's just the cadence. Like, Chad's gimmick is Kurt Angle completely.
That's what I mean.
And no one says a peep about it. Because it's really good.
It's great.
Like,
it's great. That's the
but
thing.
it's the same.
I don't want to get misconstrued. Again, if you are Kurt Angle, that's awesome.
Good thing to be.
It's a good thing to be.
Yeah.
I wouldn't, you know what I mean?
You're
and
right.
and here's the thing.
Mid-card Kurt Angle.
Basically, and if it took him just being Kurt Angle to finally get recognition and get this IC title run by leaning into it, he's playing the game. You know what I mean? No pun intended, I guess. But yeah.
Remember when Kurt Angle won the 1996 gold medal with a broken freaking neck, and Chester Cheeto gave him the the gold medals as a reward?
He said these gold medals are great. It's not Chester. One more thing I would say about this match. I mean, there's tons of stuff in it, but the ending I thought was really, I'd say, cute. Is they're both beaten up, and I think they like shake hands at the end, and Rey does what Penta did some time ago, and Rey asked for the title, and Chad gave it to him. He looked confused. He gave it to him, and then Rey put it around him. I don't know if you were watching closely, but Chad shook his head. He kind of didn't want it. Like it was like they were having no, I'm trying to get you off, like one of those. So he Rey put it around him in terms of a good job, buddy, you did it. Not in a way like that.
Yeah.
And then Chad was like, damn. And then Chad grabbed Rey's arm again in no, come here, held it up. Then Rey was like, and then Rey started doing the point. You know what I mean? They were just going back and forth.
No, after you. No, after you. No, after you.
1,000,000%. And it was all you could tell they were both generally being like, no, that match was good because of you. No, that match was good because of you. And they were almost getting genuinely frustrated, no, don't raise my arm. I want your arm should be, and you know what I mean? It was such a genuine, just yeah, and just like you said, no, after you. No, you're the best. No, you're the best.
And I've had this thought a few times throughout wrestling history, and I doubt it's ever really happened, but there must have been. And Chad Gable, as much as we're kind of criticizing his gimmick character, his actual character, he's one of the more unselfish wrestlers I think of all time. By the fact that he's only won one singles title and he's so great. At some point, though, do you think he was hearing that crowd and being like, should we call an audible right now? Especially with the type of finish they had, which was a roll-up, surprising kind of pin, whatever. Obviously, this is Chad's moment. This is Chad's run. But, man, do you feel the energy in that crowd and how badly they wanted Rey to win? I wonder.
I feel and this is just talking out of turn maybe, but I feel if this was the 90s, or a 90s mid-card match, or early 2000s, they kind of feels like it had a little more flexibility to no, let's do the thing on the fly. As opposed to now, everything, it feels like they can't stray away from anything now.
It would have to come from the back, one,
right,
and then but
I do feel if years ago, there could have been an opportunity where both them being pros, be the crowd looks let's change it.
If Chad Gable was actually Kurt Angle, he could probably make that call.
Right.
But yeah. It reminded me of AW a few years ago. It was the Acclaimed versus Swerve and Keith Lee.
Wow,
and it was right before the Acclaimed won the tag titles. And there was that match where the crowd was stone cold level hot for the Acclaimed. Yeah. And they were like, we should probably pull the trigger, but they didn't. They waited till 2 weeks later. But oh man.
I saw that come up on timeline too. Prime Acclaimed was so fun. Wow, what a time. All right, we can move on to a match that just got made official. I'm curious your thoughts on this. I think I have a lot to say about this too. Braun Breaker versus Oba Femi is set for Sunday night's main event. I'm shocked. I'm shocked that this match got made official. This promo was really good. I loved Oba Femi's Braun Breaker impression. He's Paul, and then it cut to Braun Breaker, and he's trying to hold it in.
He's gonna be a movie star.
100%.
You're gonna leave us in the dust one day.
This was awesome. And Paul Heyman gets on the mic being no, we gotta think of the shareholders, which so fun. I saw a response to this that was oh great, then here comes Paul talking about the company and TKO, and it's
you're getting worked, bro.
It's his character, 100%. Yeah. It's Paul Heyman. He's supposed to talk about shareholders. That's the whole point. He's leaning into it.
They will forever dangle a carrot in your face during the TV shows to get you to watch the PLEs or premium events for the big matches. Yes, that's a thing. That's a thing. Yes.
So all right. I love this match is happening. I love this build up. I love this promo. I'm not expecting much for Sunday. It's not this weekend. It's the weekend after, right? I'm not really sure when
Sunday night's main event. I think it's
in September. I think.
Yeah, it's a few weeks away.
It's a few weeks away. Regardless,
in Braun's hometown though, in Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, yeah. It is. It is. Yeah. Right. You're right.
I made note of that.
First of all, Sunday night's main event. You already have Cody, Randy. And then now you add Oba Breaker, and then if you add if my predictions are correct, you add a Roman LA Knight. Sunday night's main event's looking big, and then maybe like add a, I don't know, maybe Becky, Steph, Liv or something like that.
Damn, that's a stack card. That might be too stacked.
Might be too stacked.
For old Sunday.
Here's the thing. I'm not falling for Saturday/Sunday night's main event. Here's the thing. I'm not falling for it, but I will be. You bet your
candy ass you're going to be watching
it. But my expectations are not falling for it.
And I think that might be a good thing. You might end up very okay with what actually does happen if your expectations are low. But for a stature of a match of Braun Breaker versus Oba Femi, maybe your expectations should be high considering the two combustible elements in this match. But I don't blame you for having your expectations low if that's true, just because the Sunday night's main event of it. But these two men, this is prime gentlemen going at it, and I was kind of stewing on this, like, man, who needs to win this match? I mean, you kind of think Breaker, who's kind of a little bit further below down the totem pole in terms of star power and momentum right now. But also, does it hurt Braun if he loses to the God Oba Femi? So like you said, I'm going to be seated for it. I can't wait to watch it. I do believe this is probably chapter 1 of 3. I think we might be doing a bit of a copy and paste, at least in regards of Brock versus Oba, with stealing in some words like 3 PLE matches with this rivalry, which I am so ready for. And I think Breaker too, we're sort of waiting for him to break out of the Vision. I think hey, it's still Vision Boy summer, don't get me wrong, but his anytime you see him during the Vision segments, especially the last few weeks, he just
disassociating in the corner. It's so
Logan
funny.
Paul's hair is thinning. Austin Theory and Maxine are making out, like they're kind of in shambles. I've seen some people speculate because he looks damn good on social media. We could see a Bronson Reed return.
That's what I'm
and that
seeing.
could be the deciding factor in this match. And I think that makes some more sense too. I think Braun probably should get this win over Oba, or whether it's not even a win, it could be
like a DQ
a jumping of sorts or whatever. So
that's what I'm predicting. Some sort of BS like DQ Vision stuff, Bronson Reed return. There's a couple avenues you can go down. You could either do like, this could be the moment where maybe Braun Breaker gets kicked out of the Vision. Ooh. You lead to Bronson Reed versus Braun Breaker until you return back to Oba. You could have Oba Femi side with Paul Heyman, because there was kind of teases there.
Yeah, the handshake.
The handshake. Here's I think I said this before. I'm fine with it. Ultimately, I do think Paul Heyman is a good thing for a wrestler, but like, Oba Femi, I don't think needs Paul Heyman. I think Paul Heyman needs Oba a lot more than the other way around. But like, I don't think it would harm him. I just think like, I just like Oba solo. It would be interesting on paper though to see like, Paul Heyman's a snake and he found the shinier, more muscular prize, and he's like, oh, I like him more. Like Braun's already giving him shit for like, he literally said, oh, you like your shiny new toy.
You can only be a snake so many times and it be compelling, though. You know what I mean? Like, I like
100%. I agree.
Like the flirtation of, like, obviously Paul Heyman is, Oba's like Paul Heyman's wet dream, to be honest, in terms of wrestler. But like, I don't think that they will pull the trigger on Oba Femi becoming a Paul Heyman guy. And I totally agree with you. I think Oba is good. You don't need that. And I think Braun definitely needs Paul Heyman way more than Oba. And I think that their relationship will work a lot better.
I couldn't, because you mentioned the Vision moment. I was cracking up at fucking Austin Theory and Maxine Dupree having to like pretend to kiss. When they just they kept on like, they would like get close and then do like a I don't know. It's hard to describe. They kept on just like getting close and then turning away from the camera and then being like, and it's, I thought it was funny.
Chemistry's not there. Did you see the viral video of her Maxine smacking her head on the ceiling? That was pretty good.
Threw over his shoulder and then just bonk.
Vision Boy Summer. What are you gonna do?
Vision Boy Summer.
Yeah.
Regardless, I'm excited for this match. Like, just to me, this is like, and someone else said this, like, this is a teaser and just an appetizer in general for this feud, but it's also the first glimpse on the main roster of the next decade of what this company is going to be. So this feels like, let's just dip our toe in the water.
That's another reason they're not going to give us much, because this is their match. This is their match for the next 10 years, like you just said. Yeah, that's
my biggest, like, this, I think it'll be I'm sure it'll be a car crash or whatever. This isn't the match, it's also at Sunday night's main event, so it's like,
it's going to be more of a moment than a match for sure. I think Breaker probably spears into smithereens, maybe through the barricade, and classic WWE.
All right, anything else on that? We can go to the Lucha bracket.
No, but good business though.
Good business. Yeah. We got a little update for the Lucha bracket. First of all, happened on AAA. Penta will face La Parca, I believe, next week on Raw. La Parca went over Psycho Clown, which you're more tapped in than I am. That whoever that big monster guy is on AAA that like interfered in this.
I missed AAA this past week. I will say, unfortunately.
Whoever that was, I like the look of them. And then we had both matches on Raw. We had Rey Fenix defeating El Fiscal, and then Dragon Lee defeating Dr. Wagner Jr. I honestly, I mean, like, I like Dragon Lee. I think Dragon Lee's very talented. I think it would have been more interesting for Dr. Wagner Jr. to go over, in my opinion. A little more, like, pure AAA representation at this stage of the bracket. But regardless, like I said, we're getting Penta versus La Parca, then Rey Fenix versus Dragon Lee, Dr. Agon Lee. Yeah, so I'm excited. I think writing on the wall still Penta, Rey Fenix. I could see a swerve somewhere. I could see like Dragon Lee pulling out a win or something. I don't know, but I like what we're doing.
I was very happy to see Dragon Lee get a win, but also I totally agree with you in the sphere of like, you have these new guys on Raw from their promotion. You'd think maybe have one of them get a W, but it's kind of tough to see all the WWE guys going over. But Dragon Lee, off his last week, his victory over Dom Mysterio, I thought this was for sure a slam dunk. He was going to beat Dr. Wagner, Dr. Wagner, I really appreciate his work on AAA. It's really good stuff. Like good back and forth to open with some gnarly kicks on both ends, and like the impact and everything was really good. Like so many pieces of strength from Dr. Wagner. I like on commentary too. They really put Dr. Wagner over with his history and like I'm mentioning Abismo Negro and the Dragon. I really, out of the two matches, I thought Dragon and Doctor was a bit better than Rey and El Fiscal. Frog splash to follow made for a really good near fall, and then like the ending I thought was very effective too with Dragon doing like the back to back to keep Wagner down. I thought that was the best tournament match of the night. But I will say too, it was nice to see for El Fiscal get his debut on Monday Night Raw. Looks like a Power Ranger. Yeah, he's wrestling in his entrance gear, I think. Like, what are we doing there?
Yeah, he looked like my tweet about it was he looks like Max Moon mixed with the Black Ranger.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I kind of fuck with him though.
Yeah, it was
kind of sick.
It was good stuff.
I said it on stream. I gotta make like sometimes like Saturday nights are tough for me, but like I gotta make it my like Sunday morning routine to just watch like the AAA hour. You know what I mean?
I mean,
it's my favorite form of wrestling. I don't know why I'm not tapped in.
I mean, like even like it wasn't the best match, these two matches on the card, because he had Rey and Chad go at it, but Rey Mysterio's the AAA GM, and he's one of the best. He is the best luchador of all time, and it's just like, these types of matches are. No wonder you had a great Monday Night Raw. You know, you had all these great matches.
Oh, speaking of kind of going in circles again, a conversation that's been brought up. I'm curious your 2 cents. Rey Mysterio. Top 5 all-timer conversation.
I can't hate the argument at all. I mean, I think too, I think you can drop the mic and say like best babyface of all time too, considering never turned. Who dislikes Rey Mysterio? You know what I mean? Like, so top 5 all time. If he's in your top 5,
I'm starting to see him be put in more lists, and I think like. I might be getting this wrong.
He makes CM Punk's 6 grandfathers or whatever.
That's what it was. Whatever. Yeah, CM Punk did. Yeah, he did the 6-person Mount Rushmore or whatever, and Punk did put Rey,
the woke Mount Rushmore,
in there. Is that what it was? I don't know what.
He kind of says something of like, that's on bad land or something. So there's a distinct educated reason why he does the 6 whatever.
We're referring to the exact same video. I can't think of exactly who it was from or like whatever. But yeah, I love that. Punk put Rey in there, and again, I'll move on. But I was like, it's like something that's been being brought up whenever, and my favorite thing of this past week has been like, or since Monday, I should say, is seeing all the appreciation that Rey's getting. People looking back, being like, no, this guy might be the best dude. Like, and sure, there's like there's box office draws and bigger stars, and your Stone Colds, your Rocks, your John Cena's, your Romans, and whatever. But like, we're talking about like real, like just wrestling,
Rey
connection,
Mysterio,
and emotion, dude. Like, I'm not saying anything crazy right here. That I'm not saying he's like the greatest of all time, or whatever. But like, he needs to be in these conversations just as much as like AJ Styles, Kenny Omega, the John Cena's, the Stone Colds, like
crazy.
Shawn Michaels. There's so many names. There's so many names. It's impossible to make a top 5. But Rey needs to be in those same conversations as those guys because no one else has done what he's doing. You know what I mean?
And anyone that like, were to sneeze at that, like, you're crazy.
Yeah,
like,
I think people are quick to sometimes just because he's not like kayfabe wise. You know, he hasn't main evented 8 WrestleManias, and he's only had his world title runs haven't been like awesome. You know what I mean? But it's like I don't know, just need to throw that out.
And it was so good to see too. I haven't seen this in a while. Do you know the meme of it's like Rey Mysterio dedicated, but it's Lois Griffin and she's jumping from the stairs, and it's like Rey Mysterio will be like,
yeah.
I saw that on my way here. I'm like, we're so back.
We're so
like
back.
I haven't seen that meme in so long.
All right, we can move on to. We'll jump to the SmackDown side of things for a little bit. Talk to me.
Just predictions for the tournament. You have for sure Penta beating
Phoenix.
Parka.
Oh, for the next match. Yeah.
And then Phoenix beating. Because I actually think Dragon Lee.
I think Dragon Lee has a shot.
Yeah, I think Dragon Lee beats Rey Phoenix. I don't think we're getting the Lucha Brother final.
That's not crazy at all. Because WWE never mentions the Lucha Bros.
No.
Like they mention their brothers sometimes, but like they never mention their history. Dragon Lee is the more push star. Like Rey Phoenix, they hadn't been doing anything with, and they'll throw him in this
Cruiserweight champion.
Yeah, hey, but that's in terms of WWE stuff. AAA stuff, love it. But no, you're right. Dragon Lee is the bigger star than Rey Phoenix in WWE. So it's like, he's the one that got the AJ Styles rub and everything. So it's like they still don him as like, Rey Mysterio said he's the next Rey Mysterio. Which here's the thing. I think Rey Phoenix, if they want a new Rey Mysterio and they want to push that next like babyface, I think it's Rey Phoenix. I don't think WWE sees that. But I think Rey Phoenix could be that over Dragon Lee.
I think you're hung up on the namesake sharing of Rey.
It has to be a Rey. It has to be a Rey.
I just have a slightly. I think Dragon Lee is slightly better than Rey Phoenix, but I mean, both are phenomenal.
That's interesting. Hey, what?
WWE head,
We'll find out next week.
Yeah, exactly. If this match was in AAA, Rey Phoenix win because Mean Mark fucks with Rey Phoenix mad hard. But this match will probably, I think, is on Raw, so Rey Phoenix might be coming up short.
You're not crazy. Like I like 100%. You're not crazy at all. I think Dragon Lee could because I don't think Monday Night Raw gives a shit about a Penta Rey Phoenix whatever. I think
unfortunately,
yeah. But I'm gonna stay hopeful and I'm gonna pick Rey Phoenix over Dragon Lee.
Okay.
But people that are discrediting Dragon Lee so quick, like of course it's and are already jumping to the Lucha Bros final. I think are really discrediting WWE Dragon Lee booking. But and then so final for your final Penta Dragon Lee.
I'm gonna go Penta. I think Penta wins that.
I got Penta Phoenix. Penta.
Yeah,
kind of that. And Penta World Title win.
And that match though, Penta versus Roman Reigns in Mexico, man.
It's gonna be so, like I'm picturing in my head right now where like the crowd's going fucking nuts. Roman is standing there stoic, just like seething, and then Penta's in the fucking corner doing this, and the crowd's losing their mind.
And that's the thing too. I think because Roman Reigns is such a big star, and he'll have this issue because I am very happy that he was very healing out on this Raw, but like he will have that uphill battle wherever he goes where. Initially, the fans are going to be going nuts for him.
Yep.
But then it's his job to get on the mic as he does and puts them down. I really would appreciate a Raw promo to start off with Roman Reigns coming out there, soaking Roman Reigns in Mexico, getting
and
all that love.
Just say a bunch of racist
Get racist.
shit.
Honestly, yes. Yeah, because that crowd can handle it.
Pull a JBL.
Yes, basically. Absolutely. Like, you guys want to make it, like, yes, get racist.
No, give me an example.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm just kidding. Get it.
A little bit, like get heel heat,
right,
in some aspects.
All right, we can big stuff on. I know we didn't touch on Javon and JD was fun,
really good,
really good.
The selling between both those,
they're
men.
unreal, dude. They're so unreal.
Ending that match too, like his finish, the cutter is just like he gets up so high, and then Big Cass attacking him after. Big Cass, man, like he is just so big and jacked.
Okay, let's talk about all that before you.
Sorry,
no. Let's talk because I'm glad because I have a lot to say about Big Cass.
Cool.
I also want to talk about Lyra Soul.
Yeah, I got some notes on that too.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. Let's. I jumped the gun. Moving on. Go ahead, Big Cass.
Big, furious, and then like his dynamic where I think there's something on the lines of like he has heat on the internet with like I think a little bit of like, him leaving AEW, and then of course his own transgressions of his life a couple of years ago with like, I think there is, I don't know the details exactly, but it's kind of the reason why Corey Graves, the heel commentator, doesn't really talk much when he's out there, doesn't really put him over to, you would think that the heel Corey Graves would be kind of, sighing with, aligning with Big Cass a little bit, disagreeing with him. No, there's not there, because obviously Corey Graves is married to Carmella. There was, I believe, you may be educated on me. Like,
I don't know the details at all.
There was a domestic issue with them years ago, whatever.
Yeah, that's the extent that I know.
That's the extent I know, and like, so I think there's a genuine heat towards Cass towards that, and it's kind of unfair because that was years ago, and it seemed to be settled, and he had a whole career at the AEW, but now I think it's definitely more talked about now just because he's in WWE with circles of Corey Graves, and of course, he's on TV, so it's being talked about more. So he has heat in that way, and then him being booked like this, coming back to attacking Javon week in, week out, it's getting a little bit tired. We're going to be gearing up to a match soon, hopefully. But man, dude, this guy is like talk about wet dreams earlier with Paul Heyman. This guy is Triple H's wet dream. This is Test and Edge having a baby. Yeah. He's intense. I think he's his promo style is very slow and whatever, but like that kind of Italian twang he has in speaking, I think there's potential with this Big Cass.
Yeah, I think I think the criticism was like, yeah, okay, like last week he attacked Dragon Lee, and it's just the same nonsensical small guy attacker, but it was only 2 weeks. So I'm fine with it. This week, attacked Javon Evans, because I think the writing's on the wall. Javon Evans Big Cass feud. Maybe that's Sunday night's main event as well. I don't know. But the difference here is Javon got a lot of offense in, and it was a way more back and forth where Javon held his own. I think there's a lot of potential with Big Cass and Javon had this mini feud. I think it's a perfect David and Goliath sort of match for Javon Evans. My only thing is like, I mean, Big Cass, you can't have Big Cass lose this. It sucks that it's against Javon. I think Javon is such an over baby face, and he, his high flyingness, I think helps him too. Where like he can eat this loss and be fine. They're not setting him up right now for like world title stuff. I do think he should be a little closer to the IC title, but I think if I'm just curious what they want out of Big Cass. Do we want are they gonna build him up to be world title potential? Is he just going to be the big guy in the mid card? Are we building him up to feed him to Oba? I'm just curious what we're doing Big Cass, and we'll get a look whoever coming out of this match. But I see the potential. I do.
So far, so good. I mean, of course,
he looks crazy
without having a match. But yeah, he's literally 7 feet tall, built from stone, has all these parameters of like genuine heat. And then, of course, I just think it's been attacking Javon Evans is perfect because he's right now one of my favorites in wrestling right now, Javon Evans.
Yep.
And he's so likable. Sick Tim's, like it's just it all is working together where I'm like, for that match too, I'm excited for like that match in general too, because like you said, Javon was getting some offense back, and I think there could be some genuine good hope spots for Javon to win, and ultimately too, like we'll find out where WWE is going to put Big Cass in the pecking order, because if he does lose to Javon, that's kind of your answer there. He's going to be in that same kind of Rusev spot in the mid card, kind of fluctuating whatever. But if I think Big Cass is going to probably take care of Javon, and then who knows after that, man? Like he has a main event look, is what I'll say, because I can't cash checks yet without him having a match yet, for God's sakes, or anything. Because I felt a little crazy the other day because I tweeted like, WWE title run for Big Cass. But who knows, man, with this company.
Yeah. God, it's a shame they're on separate brands, because I'm really salivating at Big Cass versus Baron Corbin.
Oh no. Big Cass CM Punk though. Ooh.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
Where'd that come from?
I think CM Punk would eviscerate him on the mic, but then I would like to see old man Punk just get his fucking head kicked in by Big Cass. I don't know. Yeah. I think that'd be good.
Before we move on to some SmackDown stuff, Lyra Soul, baby. This match was great. I think
really
a lot of people are quick to just I don't know. A lot of people are quick to discredit, and I don't know. But here's
women. The women of it.
I think Lyra should have won. That's my only criticism here. Yeah. I think Lyra should have won. Love this match. As someone who is a Soul Ruca defender, like at the 3/4 point, I was like, these two are having one, and it was as two women who are way more like who are pretty acrobatic and can do high fly stuff. They kept this shit on the mat for like the first half. They were doing graps. Lyra is very technical, and they're leaning into that. I think coming off of the Javon and JD match, and I think one of the Lucha tournament matches. You know, you didn't want 3 in a row being like, you know, springy and bouncing around, whatever. So I kept this on the mat. Really technical. A bunch of like, I don't have it off the top of my head right now, but there was a couple of moves I was like, I don't know if I've ever seen that before. Like, that was crazy, you know? And then stuck the landing. Soul hit a clean soul snatcher. Lyra hit everything. Like, I think it was really good. They worked well together. And again, I do think, with all that positive to say, like, that's the one criticism I have to say about this match, regardless of how fun it was, is like, Lyra in her new character, like, Lyra needed it. It was, I hate to be like, it's this person's turn and whatever, but like, it felt like Lyra's turn. You know what I mean? Like, Soul lost the IC title, feels a little bit down the totem pole. Now, having good matches, maybe, and this is me speculating, but maybe the pressure a little bit off of being one, the new hot prospect, and 2, IC titles off. So, you know, like she got the IC title early, so now she might be a little more comfortable, a little calmer. I would have liked Lyra to go here. Not that I think like a loss for Soul isn't the best thing for Soul for what they're trying to position her to be, but Lyra, it was Lyra's to win.
She might be cooked, man. We were talking about the prospects of her winning Money in the Bank last week and being like, "Oh, that wouldn't be such a bad idea." Now I'm like very much a lot lower, just because of this. I totally agree with you. Like, Lyra definitely should have won, but then on top of that, Lyra got a jobber entrance and that wasn't on the main show, unless you are UK and you're watching without commercials. God bless you. This completely loses the momentum of her destroying Bayley. Like, Bayley's now out of the WWE, and that was such a big angle where Lyra got a win and then ended her career essentially. Maybe we'll see Bayley back. We don't know yet, but like, that was such a big moment for her. And then her to lose to a mid-carder on a rookie mid-carder on this show. It just really hurt. And then also too, she got a jobber entrance. This match, she books to lose, whatever. Oh, she had a promo.
She had a video package.
And it came off as...
Video package was awesome.
No, it came off as hilarious.
Oh, you didn't like it? I liked it.
I was laughing, John. And I shouldn't be laughing. Like, the way, like... She's doing this like, I'm not clean. I'm mental, whatever.
She's sweaty.
She's very, very sweaty, which like I'm not opposed to. But like, it's not doing what it's trying to accomplish, in my opinion. Where it's like it just honestly comes across as a little funny to me. Where some of the zoom in angles too, where it was her still talking over the audio, and then it was her like
I think that was like one of the ending shots. She's like staring at the camera.
I started laughing, man. I'm like, that's not what I should be. Kind of scared of Lyra. This isn't working. So unfortunately, there is kind of a big net negative because I'm so high on Lyra, so this was kind of disappointing to see her lose. But this match was really good.
That was great.
Soul's best match in I think a long time. There was someone in my chat that go, because I have a very complicated relationship with Soul on the main roster so far, and it was like I was like, all right, what's the over under on botches? Respectfully, someone said 3. Someone said 3.5. I'll tell you what. Big goose egg. Not one slip up from Soul Ruca, and I think there is something to be said about her being more comfortable on the main roster. The crowd went bananas when she won. I think even last week too, during that tag match with Io Sky. So she's talk about made men. I think Soul might be a made woman soon in this company. She's very popular, and I think the lack of experience in this match on Soul's part versus Lyra's very experienced actually blended well. This was good stuff. Ultimately, though, a little disappointed with Lyra's booking.
For sure. Yeah. All right, we'll go over to some more booking, some good booking, in my opinion. We got Chelsea Green potentially being stripped of the WWE title. She's injured. She broke her eyeball, basically, her eye, fractured, whatever. And it was a whole thing. She came out very sad.
Very purple.
Yeah, it was all bruised up and whatever, and she was like, she cut this promo as Nick was basically like, you have to relinquish it, you're injured. She cut this awesome breaking the fourth wall a little bit promo where she's like, I never get the chance, and whenever something good happens in my life, it gets taken away from me, and I'm always, I've done every blood, sweat, and tears.
Comedy relief.
I've been the comedy relief. I've shoved my head in cake. I've sent my ass flying into a dumpster. I've always been the girl that the girls can beat, right? I've never been the one. I finally get the one, and you want to take it from me, like fucking awesome, dude. And then hands back the title, basically saying like, you know, I don't consider this me losing it. The Nick Aldis is like, as a GM, I did the right thing. But as a man, and then Chelsea just like running back into the ring, gets the title back handed to her, and he says, you have 30 days to get cleared and defend this, or else you will be stripped of it. But like, here's your chance. And instantly, because like, here's the thing, they didn't say the term interim at all during that.
Yeah.
Her shirt still said interim with it like crossed out with her like gimmick. But when this was first happening, before like the reveal of what it actually was, I was like, we got an interim for the interim. Like, you know, Rhea Ripley's still technically the champion. Now we have the interim being stripped.
Yeah, they haven't really come out and said, like, 'cause I think it was announced on social media or just in general, Rhea's having surgery, so like we can close that door of her coming back too soon. But they didn't come out themselves and say, hey, this interim title's lifted now. You know?
Right.
But it's been, I think, because even when she was announced by the announcer, like, it was interim was dropped too. And like you said, she had the T-shirt on, but those T-shirts are, you know, already made, they're printed, whatever.
Sure.
So she's just rocking her own T-shirt.
So I don't, but like Rhea, and granted, maybe it's just an old render. Rhea still has the title and is still listed as a WWE Women's Champion on their roster site. But in terms of main champions, it is Chelsea Green. It does still say interim.
Interesting. Okay.
But that's, I mean, that's, you know, maybe the website wasn't updated. Who knows? But like,
But that's making me now change my opinion on the whole interim thing. And honestly, what's happening is because Chelsea's now actually injured too.
Right.
But like now, this is kind of a bad thing too, because there's so much confusion with that. You know, the interim thing. And
I was pretty confused.
Also pointing of the hypocrisy of like, you know, Jay didn't defend the title for 100 days. Liv Morgan recently didn't defend the title for 100 days. Although the difference, key difference, I think, though, is that wasn't because of injury. That was just because of Triple H taking naps on Mondays and Fridays or whatever. So,
and SummerSlam happened. He woke up. He's like, oh.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, post
Crazy.
SummerSlam, we've been cooking, man.
100%.
This promo was fantastic. This was a
awesome.
romantic comedy where I think they also played in the fact of the rumors and innuendo of like, oh, Chelsea Green's injured. We could be seeing, you know, her drop the title or something along those lines, where they kind of the yin and yang does, because at first Nick was following it through, and then also kudos to, in my opinion, the best SmackDown GM of all time, Nick Aldis. He was really good in this segment too,
good.
where he is such a credible authority figure, where he, you know, he's like, oh, I say romantic comedy, but this was more so like a dad and a daughter kind of hashing it out and kind of, you know, coming to the and Chelsea's brilliance of her speech and getting the crowd behind her in influencing Nick Aldis' heartstrings of like, you know
Right.
what, you're freaking right, because, you know, at one point Nick Aldis was a great wrestler 3 weeks ago, but he also remembers his career and injuries and stuff like that. Like, this was such a big time babyface moment. I'm not like necessarily always the biggest fan of Chelsea Green. I like her as a character more than like an in-ring wrestler per se, but this was she's a made woman.
And then, yeah, a lot of different stuff tied in after this with like Nia Jax coming out, basically saying like, I want that title. That led into like Tiffany Stratton coming out to help her, getting her shit rocked. What else tied in?
I thought Gunther came out and
before all that, Gunther came out and like cut a promo on Chelsea.
It was awesome.
Being like, you know, like you, I don't know, I forget what he exactly said, but then like, you know, talking shit to Chelsea, then Chelsea being like, there's only one champion in this ring. You know what I mean? I don't know where the fuck that came. I thought it was awesome.
You don't remember the quote? I could call you every slur.
Oh, yeah, he did say that. I was like,
in the book. Yeah,
like,
that
what?
kind of raised my eyes. But I'm like,
What's
you know what?
up?
I guess like the definition of a like, I mean, I don't know. That it was
The word
great.
slur isn't a slur.
Yeah, right. Like it's alluding to other bad words, and like I was like, so
I could call you every slur.
Yeah, that really piqued my ears when I heard it.
You're
But
gonna,
like,
what?
But Gunther, man, I want him to take out Chelsea Green, retire Chelsea Green, man. Like Gunther coming out and just running down Chelsea Green, and then here comes Matt Cardona in jeans.
Right, this whole thing. Yeah. And then, they had a little, afterward, they had a match. I love their impromptu little fight in jeans. So that was good.
It wasn't like the best match of the year. It was no Mysterio Gable, but the fact that the common sense of, because so much times in wrestling we turn the blinders off of reality sometimes, where we have a promo segment turn into a match. It's like, oh, very convenient, you guys are all dressed for this match that's happening. But no, it was jeans versus slacks, and Gunther, the audacity to do a Boston Crab in Boston to Matt Cardona, who has to, face his wife as he taps out like, oh, Gunther, you never changed, man. I was a little disappointed because SmackDown was in Boston this Friday. We weren't there. I wanted some more heat towards Gunther. I mean, you got to remember this is John Cena's hometown. This is the man who took out John Cena, but Gunther just being natural Gunther with this confronting Chelsea Green of all people, being the best heel in the business.
But I throughout the whole night overall, I thought Boston was solid. I'll tell you what though, after that I thought SmackDown was very, very good. For a watching it on TV sort of wrestling show, I'm pretty glad I didn't go.
Yeah, matches. I mean,
they did have, I guess the dark match was Cody and Oba versus The Vision.
Right.
Which would have been cool.
Because it was supposed to be Cody, Sami in the main event, but then they never got in the ring.
But I have my 2 cents about unless it's a crazy card, I'm kind of good on WWE TV shows. I didn't after that SmackDown, I was like, I'm glad I didn't spend $120 to be up in the nosebleeds.
Oh, I don't think it would be costed that much. I think because right now my mentality of any wrestling show right now is wait until the last second. I think you could have got in there for a decent penny, but I mean that's more so because I think the show should have costed a decent penny.
Yeah. Some other stuff. We'll get back to Codester Orton, but before that we had Punk and Kevin Owens promo. I thought this was great too.
Yeah, man.
These two going at it, really finally expressing, diving into why Kevin Owens doesn't like Punk. This what sucks though, the one I don't know, it's not Achilles heel, it's not the term, but the one downside is it is a WWE promo, so there's a lot of stuff that they were alluding to they couldn't outright say, which sometimes makes it better, sometimes makes it worse. But you could have said ROH. I mean, I get it. It's an AEW owned company now. You're not going to say it, but alluding to we used to be in a indie company together.
Those 3 friends you have.
So that was the thing. That one I'm fine. Obviously they weren't going to mention the Bucks, but I thought that was in really just alluding to the AEW situation and being you're a nuisance backstage and you did this and and then Punk was those 3 friends, and Kevin was well, those, but all my friends hate you. Not just those 3, but kind of alluding to Kevin Owens being friends with the Bucks and Kenny, and the AEW side of it all. And just, I don't know. I thought it was a really, really interesting them diving into their history and then CM Punk's side of things where it's Kevin was basically you could have reached out a hand. You never reached out a hand to me and whatever. And Punk being I think Punk's perspective, he didn't outright say this, but how I took it was Punk was felt threatened in ROH by this new guy that was trying to take his spot, Meanwhile, what Punk said was oh, you were some punk kid and had no respect and thought you were this and that and whatever. I don't know. I'm sure I'm missing a lot, but a lot of good stuff. I don't think Punk's strongest. There's a couple of things that Punk said that was I don't know what the line was, but he said oh, I wanted Oba Femi. Instead, I have Endo whatever. Hand up. I'm a dumb guy. I didn't know what that was. I did Google it after. And I mean, it did. First of all, it doesn't make any sense what he said.
I'm thinking he might have meant something else.
He had to have meant something else.
Meant another big word that basically is loosely calling Kevin Owens fat.
Because it was supposed to because Oba Femi, and it was supposed to
play on words for Oba Femi,
and then it kind of didn't, and then it just it felt weird, and I saw a lot of people online kind of disappointed with what he said, and also people just being who cares. I don't really have a take on that. Like I said, I'm pretty uneducated, but just in general in my life. But
I will say though, I didn't know what that was. CM Punk using it in a promo made me sort of look. Again, I'm not going to try to say it, endo, whatever. But it's I think it's a disease with that some women go through. So that's kind of a sensitive topic there. So you raise some awareness for it. At least now I know what that in some regards I know what it is now. So there's that to it.
Sure. I guess it really. It's no Punk was being a feminist.
It did definitely. And then the thing too, that reminded me of it was at Raw that I was at, or SmackDown I was at, and Punk, used some sports references that I thought were Boston people. If you remember.
Yeah. I remember this.
And none
of them were.
None of them were. So I ended up eating egg in the face in the podcast. But my thing is that I think this is a good example of it. Punk maybe trying to be a little too smart for his own liking, because if it's true that he meant to say another word that sounded like the word he used, and now he kind of has egg on his face because he was insensitive or whatever. He could have just said in that Boston promo, David Ortiz and Tom Brady, to make an example of like an old, because he was trying to use a sports reference for like an old veteran, whatever. He used some sports references that like even I didn't know, and that's maybe I just, you don't know ball, Jimmy, whatever. But like, no, like if you're, don't be so, keep it simple, stupid, kiss. Like, you could have said Tom Brady and David Ortiz for a big pop in Boston, but you said two other schmucks that whatever. It's like, I don't know, maybe it's like just a case of Punk being trying to be a little too smart.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, besides that, like I said, strong promo. I think Kevin kind of got the best of him, or at least Kevin, I think, had the better.
I had a match with Stone Cold. You didn't.
Yeah, he did say that. I thought he was going to, which just doesn't mean anything, but like, I thought he was about to say like, oh, you didn't have a main event because you're a night one main event sort of guy. Because I thought that's what he was getting, but instead he was like, it was like, hey. I had a main event with Stone Cold and you didn't. A lot of just like, and Punk being like,
if I was here,
do you think they would have picked you? Like they would have picked me and da-da. Yeah. I don't know. And like them getting in each other's faces and just like, playing on like the real heat and like the speculation of like their relationship and like, I don't know. It's really, really good stuff. And it's crazy just how much like instantly Kevin Owens, his return has like changed the landscape of that main event scene.
Does he win the WWE title this Friday, Montreal SmackDown? Does he do it, John?
I say no.
Mm-hmm.
I say no, and real fantasy speculation. I say no. Punk fully turns heel.
Okay.
Punk kind of, because like that promo, I was like, Punk was the heel in that promo, regardless of like his
especially if he means to or not to some people,
right? So I think there's potential for him, and he's gonna get booed anyway because they're in Montreal or Toronto. Are they in Toronto or Montreal? Montreal. Yep. Either way, Canada, with the entire country, is Kevin Owens' country. If you're in Canada,
could we see another screw job? CM Punk, a big Bret Hart fan.
That's interesting.
Like you said, like maybe a potential heel turn of some sorts where I'm not suggesting like Nick Aldis rings the bell during an Anaconda Vice or anything, but like I think there's definitely something in the air with it being in Montreal.
Yeah.
Punk, like you said, a little bit more vindictive and mean on the stick against Owens. And for me personally, I left that promo now rooting more for Punk, surprisingly, just because of the whole Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, Kevin Owens side of things. And like classically, I kind of take Punk's side and all that, but like I think towards like the natural viewer, like Kevin Owens is returning. He is the underdog in this, and like he's gonna be in Montreal. He's gonna be super over. I think there's something in the air, and then that my thing too is like, do you think? I think this Punk Owens match is a one-off. There's not gonna be a rematch. There's not gonna be. I think both these men. What happens during that match, because I think Sami Zayn could be involved.
Yeah.
I think Gunther can be involved. Yeah. I think this match might be, whether Owens wins the title or not, these two men might be facing different paths on different roads post Montreal.
Interesting. I do think Kevin Owens should win the WWE title soon. Is he going to take it off Punk? Is it going to be one more? I don't know. I kind of see... This match is screwy, or CM Punk turns fully heel. Like I said, a Sami Zayn comes in, and maybe you go into a little Sami Kevin promo or program. But I also maybe see Kevin Owens get screwed here. This isn't the actual match. Actual match is Money in the Bank.
Sure.
And maybe you have Kevin take it there at Money in the Bank. Maybe you circle all the way back to it at Survivor Series.
But I feel confident knowing that it's Kevin Owens and CM Punk. They're not going to give us like a TV kind of,
No, I think it'll be good.
It'll be a match.
I think it'll be a good match. I think we'll get to the last 5 minutes, and then like all of a sudden some stuff happens. But I don't know. I don't think he wins, but I do think there'll be another match, and then maybe Kevin Owens. I don't know.
And that's a good thing.
I just don't think they're done with Punk as a champion, but also I think they really want to like pull the trigger on feel good Kevin Owens big return on
Absolutely.
fire championship win.
I was floored. It was one of those Chris Van Vliet podcast images of a wrestler's championship accomplishments, and it's like guess the wrestler.
Oh, yeah.
It was like 1 universal title, 2 U.S. championships, and like a few tag titles. I'm like,
Yeah.
who the hell is this? Kevin Owens has done diddly squat the last 10 years, man. Not actually. He's main event WrestleMania. He's one of the best wrestlers alive, but like championship
yeah,
wise, it's
yeah.
crazy. He's so due, you know?
Yeah, 100%.
But also, how does it
Hell
look?
yeah, he's only won the Universal,
That's
right?
it.
He's never won the WWE.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man.
Wow. Yeah, I think they'll give it to him. Again, I don't know about Friday, but if it happens, that'd be fucking
In his
sick.
hometown, like why wouldn't
That'd
you
be
just
cool.
kind of go for it, you know? But it's regardless, man. It's gonna be can't miss TV.
Yeah, I'm glad. I kind of forgot that was this Friday. To be honest with you, I'm glad you said that. More feuds. We got Cody Orton. Backstory here was it was going to be Cody and Sami in the main event. The stipulation was if Sami Zayn defeats Cody, he gets to face the winner of Kevin Owens Punk that happens on Friday. So as another instance, Orton comes out immediately, takes out Codester. They brawl, bunch of like steel steps, concertos sort of stuff. Meanwhile, Sami's like, hey, what the hell? So another instance of Sami getting screwed. He got screwed at SummerSlam. It got made a fatal 4-way. He got screwed because this match was a no contest, whatever. So, I mean, to your point, that really, gives credit to Sami Zayn involvement somewhere in maybe this match next week or whatever. But besides that, too, I think some good Cody Orton stuff. Again, I don't think their Sunday night's main event match is going to be the match either. I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be fine. But I don't think we're done with Cody Orton there. But solid ending. And I like Cody getting a little more brutal,
This was chaotic, and then they were all in the crowd. I'm like,
Yeah,
damn,
they went all the way
I
around.
should have been in that crowd, man. I could have got a hand of the American Nightmare or something. I could have got some Viper sweat on myself. That would have been awesome. But it was like you said, Cody was almost going to do the inverse of what Randy did to him right before the WrestleMania build with the steel steps. But then for some reason, then Daivari and who else got a payday? Daivari and someone else.
Jason Jordan.
Jason Jordan gets a payday, and they prevent Cody from doing the deed, which really pissed me off. Where were you when Randy almost tried to kill Cody Rhodes? Like, maybe they're learning from their mistakes, I suppose. But this was we are in a good spot right now. I think whether we get a Cody heel turn or not, man. Like this side of Cody being vicious and vindictive and really wanting to by any means necessarily take care of his rival Randy Orton. I think it's tough for me that cause you say you don't think Cody Randy stops at Saturday Night's main event. You don't think that's like the blow off match?
No, I don't think so.
I think it'll be a really good match though. But that's a tough one to pick right now. Cody for who? I guess Randy wins that match because Randy's coming off a loss against
Makes
WrestleMania.
sense.
But I feel like something's got to give with that match a little bit.
Yeah. It's not. There's no stipulation right now, is there?
I don't think so.
It'd be interesting
In
if they turned,
Atlanta,
it is in Atlanta. I mean, they turn it into a street fight. That'd be kind of cool.
I would like
I
that.
don't know. Interesting. We have a couple of things. A couple of smaller. Well, not smaller things. Jacy Jayne, new U.S. champ, defeating Tiffy Time. That's neat. I like Fatal Influence. Now Fatal Influence dripped out in gold.
Yes.
Jacy Jayne, I think, deserving of the U.S. champ. Feels a little refreshing. Giving the ball to the mid card ball to some newer talent. See what they can do. Maybe puts Tiffany back in a main event picture chatter. But good stuff. I liked it.
Yeah, I thought it was very okay. A lot of commercials during this match. Unfortunately, a little bit too short for my liking. But Fatal Influence got it, man. I think all three of them have potential world champion material some way down the road. There's been some rumors and backstage speculation of Nikki Bella got injured from the move that Fatal Influence did to them, so there might be some heat towards them. And then I think Lainey Reed pointed out that she made it very public that the camaraderie and togetherness of the NXT locker room is night and day to the main roster. She says there's a lot.
Really? I didn't see that.
She pointed out there's a lot less cooperation, and she feels like there's there's a need for a locker room leader with the women, which I thought was a very bold thing to put out there as a rookie and stuff, and like maybe there is some truth to that, but like regardless, I mean, and I think they for sure should play on that in the future of like whatever, but.
Imagine how come there hasn't been a stable called Locker Room Leaders?
Oh,
that's kind of fun.
CM Punk gotta lead that one. But yeah, the image of all three of them with gold, tremendous. And I think the mid card titles, especially for the women's IC and women's US title, should immediately go to almost any new NXT call up. But it just makes so much sense.
MFTs won the tag titles.
Cool,
neat.
A fun 3-way tag match with Weepa up. That's Priest and
something like that. Yeah,
Priest and Truth. Where finally we got the tag titles off these guys. They did as much as they could with them. But like this division's kind of been dead for a while. But MFTs with Haku, I'm all for. And this was a short but fun match with the Viking Raiders, the AAA tag champions, and Weepa up and MFTs with Haku. Yeah,
that's kind of my same sentiment. I am, Haku being there adds credibility. Obviously, like they're totally done with Solo. Now it's just a separate tag team. They're still doing the face paint. I don't know. It's interesting. It's different. There's something there.
I think Priest eventually killing Truth will do him some good.
Ooh. I don't mind that.
Because that's like Truth is like a beloved babyface. You want to talk about Rey being an all-time babyface. So Damien eventually, because he's been on AAA recently too, so which I like a lot for his direction of his career. So maybe a heel turn for Damien could be intimate.
Baron Corbin kicked Melo's ass in his hometown in Boston, Massachusetts. He didn't kick his ass. It was a fun match.
Sad though.
Yeah, I mean. It was for the U.S. title. I wasn't expecting Melo to. It felt like a heel in the other guy's hometown win, whatever. I don't know.
Good effort in the match, I'd say.
Yeah,
terrible match.
I just think Trick Williams is going to get this U.S. title back, or he's kind of becoming a fan favorite to win Money in the Bank. So maybe we just we disregard the U.S. title. I don't know. I just don't like. I just don't see what the point is with Baron Corbin. Like, I don't see the point of bringing him back, giving him the U.S. title here, and then beating Melo, and then like I don't know. It's not for me. I'm just not super a fan of it. But I'm hoping maybe Trick can get it back off Corbin. And also, Corbin's a heel. I'm not supposed to like it. There's something to be said about that. But I'm not too entertained. I
think that's very fair. Corbin too. One entertaining aspect of it is him keeping the furry title, but that can only get you so far.
I like that.
And it's funny, whatever. But good to see Trick at the end of the segment. Attacking him and Yachty attacking Baron. I think for sure we'll get that U.S. title back.
Last 10 minutes of the show, we got some AEW stuff. We'll start with some news and just some speculation. When are we seeing the New Day, baby? Last week on Dynamite, hopefully you get to this before Dynamite tonight, but Hangman, Bandito, and Brody King are in there talking their shit. Swerve Strickland returns. Hell yeah. The baddest man in AEW. I think is his nickname. And he comes out and he's facing 3 guys. There's only one of him. And kind of I forget exactly what it was a week ago at this point. But kind of alludes to just like, might need some tag team partners. Who's two very talented pro wrestlers who are free agents now? New Day, baby. Austin Creed and Kofi, as they're speculated to be going by. There's a bunch of reports and stuff going around that they're not officially signed. No, I haven't seen reports about officially signed, but like all signs point to like, yeah, they're heading to AEW. They could just lead this all to All In and have like Swerve like waiting for his opponents, and then New Day, debut hits. They could debut him on Dynamite. I don't know.
Because it might be a 3-way trios, because the Demand was also in that segment. Yep, they were lurking, and they're still upset from losing the titles to Brodito and Page. But yes, Swerve, I think a match made in heaven with the New Day, if that were to be. I think it's the worst kept secret in wrestling right now. The New Day will be in All Elite Wrestling. We're going to be seeing them at All In. And
it is interesting. They're gonna debut them as heels.
Yeah, that's actually not, I think, ideal. But I mean, not to say it doesn't matter in some regards, but like it is kind of jarring a little bit.
I think they can easily they're easily going to be able to turned them like faces and whatever. But like, it is just interesting. They're gonna seemingly segue into their like heel characters. And here's the thing,
and also the trios division too. That's another kind of surprising.
I agree. But glass half full is also like maybe their heel stuff connects better in AEW because like AEW has had some goofies, like the Acclaimed were like a really good tag team that leaned comedy. I don't know. There's other examples of like funnier, more lighthearted teams where like I don't know how well like the unicorn, silly, happy-go-lucky stuff would go.
And you don't want to
AEW.
And you don't want to replay what we just watched.
Exactly. So I honestly am weary, but I kind of respect that they're like, yeah, like let's try. Fuck it, let's try it.
And I guess to a degree, they are continuing where they were just left off on TV, where they were bad guys on WWE, and
maybe they can swear now.
And I think too that adds an edge to them, where maybe not just swearing, but like kind of being the rambunctious themselves and kind of more controversy with everyone knows that heels are cooler than baby faces anyway. So yeah, maybe like because I think Kofi trademarked KSM. And like maybe like just more of a turned up version from their heel gimmick in the WWE, where they were kind of finding their own identity away from the cereal, the pancakes, the unicorns, all that jazz. Yeah, I think
the initial heel turn was good.
Yes,
it was. The story is it's less so to do with them. To me, it's like heel New Day didn't work. A lot because the fans didn't connect with it, but a lot because of the booking. Yeah. Because we saw the potential of it. So I think, I don't know. I think it can work, but I am right there with you where I am a little curious of like them not just playing a little bit on like the, not nostalgia of it, but a little bit nostalgia of it, and also like just straight up tag team. You know? But,
and we are kind of getting our head of ourselves too, where it's like
100%.
They can have that first moment in AW where they get the standing ovation like they rightfully deserve, but then they get into the business, the brass tacks of playing their characters. And I think too where you could point out the fact that Brodito and Page won a very formidable trios team. Like those are three of the best workers of a team. So that's going to be a tough task for anyone to beat them. And of course, they just won the titles too. So maybe there's a discussion where the New Day and Swerve don't win their debut match, and then New Day they jump Swerve at the end of the match.
Hey, like, you said we were going to win.
Yeah, I'd love to see. I'd love to see Swerve versus Kofi, Swerve versus Creed. So,
and not that Kofi and Creed need like a big rub. They're so established on their own, but also debuting them with Hangman, Swerve, Brody King, and Bandito, like that puts them up there with those guys, which I appreciate.
And breathes new light into a trios division that desperately needed it too.
Is there a update on this bracket? Because we had all right, is this bracket elimination or is it more like a
oh, brother, I don't know.
Cut first round. I want to say it's elimination. Either way, we had Mox score Jack Perry in the main event. I thought was a fucking killer match. Probably Jack Perry's best match. And then to preview Dynamite a little bit, big Dynamite tonight, which to be honest with you, I pulled this up because I was kind of looking to see if there was like maybe a spot tonight for the New Day. Doesn't really look like it, but we're getting Kenny and Will with a little interview with Renee. We got Willow and Mercedes, also an interview with Renee. Nigel McGuinness versus Hechicero quarterfinals match in the Continental Cup. Jay White versus John Moxley.
That's why I thought that was going to be the finals.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be sick.
Wow.
Speaking of a TBS 4-way, Statlander, Maya World, Persephone, Hikaru Shida. That's sick. And then two just big tag matches. Ospreay, Akira, and Henair, who I'm not fully, I think they're Ospreay buddies. I'm not fully in tune with them. Versus Brian Cage, Rock Romero, Lance Archer. Main event, Kenny Omega and the Bucks versus El Clone, Davis, and Doyle. To be honest with you, I want a little more at like, the main event is like, it'll be fun matches, but like, not super sold on like, the matchups here. But I guess it's like Don Callis family stuff and like, whatever.
Will Ospreay and his lads, like I don't know those guys.
But elite tagging is sick.
That's always a treat, and you can't take that for granted because
I know.
those three guys are up there in terms, especially Kenny with diverticulitis and all that stuff. Like you can't take it for granted. We have some good graphs on television tonight.
But to wrap up last week, a lot of good stuff last week. MJF looking killer last week in that triple threat match, taking out Nick Wayne and Speedball Mike Bailey, and like a lot of just like it was almost like in the match, MJF started mentoring Nick Wayne, then like Nick Wayne would go for the pin, he'd be like, hey, what the fuck? Hey, what the hell?
Even just classic heel tactics of like the match starts and immediately he runs to the outside and lets them go on. He hops on commentary and he's just the salt of the earth, the best thing they got. And love MJF so much. I mean, him and Andrade 1 and 2 to start off will be fantastic for that match. And I love MJF.
Yeah, do you remember what happened? Did he just? Oh yeah, he like raised up the he got in the mic and he called himself the one true champion, right?
The OTC.
Oh yeah, I saw instantly someone like made like the t-shirts and shit.
And as much as petty and as much as like AW should stray away from WWE slander shots, whatever, just because it's not productive. I do like that. It's tongue in cheek. It's like it's the top guy calling out the top guy of the other company who's never there, and I don't know. I think it's not going to be a reoccurring every week thing, but I think it's a cute little shot from MJF to Roman Reigns a little bit. And then of course too, context is key because when the MFTs had a T-shirt, MFTs is a lot close to MJF, and they use the exact font that MJF has always famously used, and it looked like an MJF shirt being sold at WWE. So there is context to it too.
See, am I crazy? So he just said one true champion. He didn't say OTC on the mic,
right?
Unless could it have just been a coincidence, you think?
I think it's a little tongue-in-cheek.
You think so?
I think it's a perfect... Because then they're selling T-shirts that have, like, OTC on
it. That was fake.
Oh, it was fake?
Yeah.
Fucking AI. AI sucks. People suck. But they should sell it. They should sell it. I would buy one. OTC, MJF. I acknowledge my tribal chief.
My tribal MJF.
My big Hebrew.
Big Hebrew. All right, what else?
Meltzer gave Kevin Knight and Chris Jericho 4 stars. That match was doo-doo. I hate what they're doing with my boy Kevin Knight. Don Callis is a cancer to this show. I know he's the big bad heel, but at this point, I'm tired of seeing him.
Yeah, I'm not a Don Callis guy.
He stinks. I mean, I get it. Like, I'm getting worked up, and that's kind of what you want from your classic heel manager. But it's not good TV. I get it to the point where it's like, he gets general heat. He gets that crowd reaction when the crowd's not really necessarily fired up. But like, I'm tired of hearing "fuck Don Callis" on TV every week, and it's not even like. It takes away. The wrestlers themselves in his faction aren't getting the heat. It's Callis, and the heat is like so. I'm F Don Callis. Get him off the TV. Put him in a casket match. Big send off.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of like the Don Callis. Like even like we had like when Kevin Knight first joined. It's like the members don't benefit from it because then like none of them talk to each other. Then some of them are feuding, and then you had like Takeshita in it, and now Takeshita's not in it. But like Okada and Kyle Fletcher are in it, but they're kind of feuding a little bit. And like we're obviously getting the triple threat match, which is gonna be fucking bananas.
That might be match of the year.
That's gonna be nuts,
it sucks to have that expectation for a match, but I'm so confident that they will reach that expectation that I don't mind it, man.
I agree. We have a couple Sunday the 30th. How is that? When are our predictions? So we got Papa. Next week. Next week. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, I thought next week will be our all-in predictions.
I wonder how different it'll be. I think maybe slightly. Who knows? But
yeah, I don't know. It might come down to the conference points. Who knows? Have you been seeing? Now we're just kind of like talking all over the place. Have you been seeing the Leon Slater TNA stipulation?
No.
It's some bullshit where it's because I think writing's on the wall where he's going to WWE or maybe even AEW. People are speculating
he's leveling up soon.
Where TNA is like doing this petty thing where if he loses, I'm gonna look it up and get the exact thing right now after I just speak out of my ass. But I think he's facing like Mustafa Ali for his X Division title, and if like it's something like if Leon Slater loses, his history of being an X Division champion gets erased from TNA history. Or some shit like it's some
that's such
shit
a convoluted thing that like honestly gets like genuine heat on the company. Not even Mufasa Ali, just like
okay. Here it is. It's
what?
It's versus Cedric Alexander for okay. TNA details the stipulation for Cedric Alexander versus Leon Slayer at Lockdown this Sunday. If Leon loses, his X Division Championship reign would no longer be recognized by TNA. The title history will officially recognize the title moving from Moose to Cedric Alexander with a period of inactivity during Leon's reign. Amazing Red would once again be recognized as the youngest champion. Austin Aries would be the sole holder of the record for longest reign.
Whoa.
And what I didn't know, Leon Slayer's not even the current champion. It's Cedric Alexander. So he's not even defending the title. He's going for it.
Oh, that actually makes me think it's really stupid. I was kind of at a level of like, that's kind of, different, entertaining, very TNA-ish, but Leon Slayer's not even the current champion, then I really don't like that.
Yeah, to my note, I'm looking it up right. I'm double checking right now, but I believe that's Cedric with the belt.
And like that's like, I mean, maybe we're missing context. Like maybe like because Daria is like the person running the show, I think. So like maybe because that to me is like TNA sanctioning this and making it like approving that stipulation. That makes me give the company heat. That doesn't give me like heat towards Cedric Alexander, and it feels very random.
It just shows that like, oh, so you're like, you treat your history like bullshit,
right?
And which like
I think is a little different, and it adds some stakes to something where it's like, I think because it's a very circumstantial thing, and all those things happening. But like, I don't know, man. I'm happy you told me about that because that is quite ridiculous.
Wacky, dude. And here's the thing: maybe by all means, Leon Slater could win and he becomes the X Division champion again, and we're all getting worked. But like, people are jumping to like, because he is Leon Slater, like he is WWE, NXT, and or AEW bound. Probably, I mean, I feel like if you're in TNA, I feel like WWE might get like first dibs. It seems like.
I'd say so.
Which is like what, but I know people are just like they want to erase his history.
Maybe that is like if he was NXT WWE bound, they wouldn't be doing all that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, like, there is some speculation to say. Yeah. Just very bizarre though. Yeah.
Wrestling. This is from May. No, I don't even, something from May says, from Wrestling Observer, Leon Slayer was not allowed to break the record for longest X Division champion of all time because the belief is that he will be leaving for TNA, he'll leaving TNA for WWE or AEW. But also like, yeah, and to your point, like if he is leaving, for WWE, TNA's in their back pocket. Like, why would TNA care? So, like, maybe this writing's on the wall is like AEW.
That would make that would make more sense for sure. But like, also, why though? It's just like,
or it could be a petty thing by WWE making them do that because, like, this other thing says, or again, random tweet I'm reading, but it says if Leon Slayer goes to AEW over WWE after getting a John Cena co-sign and put on his last SNME main event card, like, something to be said about WWE.
Leon Slater is an interesting case. Sorry to cut you off.
No, I was just gonna say they did to kind of maybe to go to what you're about to say is like they did like a recap like recently. Maybe it was for like an Unreal episode where they showed like the final Cena SNME main event, and they showed Soul, they showed Oba, they showed who else was on the card? Javon. They did not show Leon Slater.
Really? Oh, the writing might be for sure on the wall that he might be all elite then, and I think that might actually be at least from my opinion, like a rarer case of like, yeah, that's the absolute right move. Both are right moves when you are a young prospect of going to either AEW or WWE, in my opinion. But Leon Slater being like having a contract of like, oh, I can go to NXT right now, where I've like already kind of been at a little bit, or do something new and kind of like, against the grain and go to AEW and be kind of my own guy there where, for a while in the last few years, him and Javon have been paired together as a team and just kind of in general. So like he could be, what Javon is now over in AEW. Like, I think that's very interesting. I kind of prefer that too, honestly, for Leon Slater, to be honest.
I'm very curious. Yeah. If he loses on Sunday, that's going to be crazy. Just like, nope, your entire TNA history is gone.
Which they might be shooting themselves in the foot being that petty, man, because like that makes me want to root for Leon even more.
Right,
once he leaves TNA.
It could very much be. I mean, he's not that. If he loses, it's almost similar to like, okay, I lost, but like CM Punk leaving Money in the Bank with WWE title, kissing the company goodbye.
Yeah.
Granted, different circumstances, Leon will be losing, but like, I don't know.
Wow.
Couple of quick talk. This might be better saved for the Patreon, but like I just saw it on WrestleOps. Jim Johnson said he would be happy and open to return to making theme songs for WWE again, but feels Triple H is not a big fan of his, and the chances of a return are unfortunately close to zero. Damn, Triple H and fucking Jim Johnson got beef.
Jim Johnson, I tried to reach him out to an email to work for a Stache Club theme song, and he didn't get back to me. So I got a little heat with Jim Johnson.
Johnson.
And he's up there in age, man. I don't know. Again, like, don't get me wrong, I would take anyone over Def Rebel at this point for theme songs, but you can't go wrong with picking Jim Johnson, who deserves to be in the WWE Hall of Fame. But like, I don't know.
You hating on Jim Johnson is shocking.
I'm not hating. I'm not hating on. One, I just would like a reply to my email I gave you, and then two, like, I am thinking like, yeah, he's very. I think he's very old.
You don't think old men can fucking rip?
No, of course they can. Of
can
course,
rip.
He's still got the ear. Don't get me wrong, but like. And like, dude, there's just some mid carders from that era that just have the most biggest banger.
Exactly,
it's crazy.
Real quick, while we're just super on garbage time at this point, did you see this video of Scott Steiner's son hitting a German suplex on the football field?
Oh my god,
he hit a shoot German suplex.
And this is the same. I think he's suspended for the first 6 games of the NFL season for steroids.
Oh, is he? That's funny.
I think
it says
so.
Brock Rex Steiner, son of Scott Steiner, hits a German suplex during the Cowboys and Saints joint practice.
My Cowboys. Can I see it again?
Yeah. It happens. It's going to take a little bit. Oh, there. Sorry.
Oh, wow.
Just hits a shoot German. Bang.
Oh, he's gonna be a WWE champion for sure. Because I don't think he's gonna be that great of a football star. I think he plays wide receiver. But yeah, he's suspended for the first 6 games of the season. I'm pretty sure because of the wellness, whatever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Wow, that's nuts.
Wow.
All right, folks. Coming to a screeching halt here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. We appreciate the support as always. Please subscribe to all the stuff you haven't. Check out the Patreon, patreon.com/Stache Club Wrestling. There'll be a preview to end this show. We're going to talk about all kinds of stuff. We have a bunch of your questions. We have a bunch of stuff to talk about over there. Whole other hour weekly. It happens over there. Thanks for being here. We appreciate it. Nearing in on episode 2, Hundo. Talk to me.
My wrestler match of the week is Rey Mysterio, and Rey Mysterio versus Chad Gable.
I couldn't agree more. Part of me wants to, do something different. Like, I don't always love having my wrestler and match of the week the same.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
yeah.
El Fiscal.
El Fiscal, Ray Phoenix. Yeah, I'm trying to think, AEW was good. I mean, I really liked Moxley, Jack Perry.
Sure.
But I am just so hot off of a Ray Chad. So give me, I'm agreeing with you. Ray Chad, and then Ray Chad for match, wrestler Ray.
51 years old.
Insane. Folks, comment your wrestler match of the week. We'd appreciate it. All right. Thanks for being here. We'll see you on the other side of the paywall. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye. Peace.
Stay curious.
We had a deal. I don't give a shit. And listen, I get it. Could you guys ever date someone who's just as big of a wrestling fan as you? Since wrestling is already a big part of your job, do you think dating another huge wrestling fan would be too much wrestling all the time?
So we're getting pissed on. And then who starts turning heads by walking by and going to the end of the line? Fandango.
Wait, really?
Just that's casually sick. At the Limitless show.
When someone says some dumb shit to me online, but their profile picture is whatever team they like.
Oh, yeah.